This week on The Real Housewives of Orange County.
I don't give a shit what you say.
Let's go.
You think you can
You're not involved in this.
You think you can
You're
be
a
allowed?
friend.
Jen,
Shut the up.
Jen, this is a lovely night.
You're right, Emily. I am.
Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to We're going to be talking about the new episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 18, Episode 11. Let's get right into this. So the first scene is Gina going over to Shannon's house, and Gina steals 2 lemons out of a lemon tree to give Shannon. That was funny. It was like some neighbor's tree. Shannon shows Gina around her new house, and Gina tells her what happened that last day at Sonoma with Katie and Heather. And Shannon has been very busy with Vicki because the tres amigas have become the dos amigas, and they've been having to change everything because they had so much stuff already made, like merch, videos, promos, LLCs, and all of that, which sucks, and now they're gonna have to, redo it all. Tamra is so unprofessional for pulling out last minute. So Shannon tells Gina that she also contacted her attorney, and that her attorney pretty much confirmed that John has those videos stashed up on his pocket to basically extort or have, to have something over Shannon's head. That's really the purpose of why he has them. Then we see Emily, Katie, and Jen go to a coffee shop, and Jennifer paid for everything, which is nice considering her situation, So the three of them are talking about different things, and one of them is parenting. Jen is going through a hard time with her oldest son named Dawson. He's been a little much to deal with lately, like having some unhealthy patterns, so that's one of the things that she is really focusing on right now. And it looks like she's really struggling and hurting over that. The three of them say that it's been pretty challenging as a group to deal with Shannon and Alexis, the whole drama, especially when they're around both of them. Then Emily opens up about the fashion show they had at Heather's Sonoma event. She says that the outfit that Heather picked out for her the outfits were different than those of the other thinner ladies. Also, Heather had told her to bring her own pair of jeans, and Emily thinks that maybe Heather thought that Emily was too big to fit into some of the other clothes, which is why she made her bring those jeans, and that makes her feel very bad, and I do think Emily is genuinely hurt by this. Then we see Heather Dubrow being part of a GLAAD event. There were a lot of celebrities there like Oprah and a fellow housewife, Meredith Marks. Heather and Meredith actually presented an award together, and Alexis also happened to be there. Moving on, we see a nice scene with Tamra and Katie taking their daughters so they can go make some candles. And I think it's nice for the young girls to be friends since they are around the same age and have some stuff in common. I really like that. I like Katie's daughter. She looks like she's a cool person. Katie, then, as they're doing the candles, talks a little bit about how hard it is to have her son live in a different state. And that sort of makes Tamara and Katie tell their daughters that they need to be careful who they procreate and get married to. Unfortunately, these girls, and I think mainly Tamara's daughter, have really been affected by the experiences that they've had with their parents, because when you have someone as young as Tamara's daughter saying, I don't believe in marriage and I don't want to have kids, that's coming from someone who's definitely been affected by their upbringing. Then we see Vicki and Shannon being on the road, and I love this. I've said this to y'all, I'll take as much Vicki as I can. They had to transform the entire show, as I said, for it to be the Shannon and Vicki show, and they have some tricks and stuff like that they added to the performance to make it more fun and interactive. They had a slingshot that they kept trying to use so that they could throw shirts at the audience. Very fun. The next scene is Jen, and she has a conversation with her son and about some of the things that he's been doing, like not coming home until past midnight and on school nights. He says, well, sometimes I don't want to be here. And she says, why? Do you not like Ryan? Is that what it is? And he says, no, it's not that, but I've always hear the same thing coming from you. It's like you're always telling me what's wrong with me. And she says, like saying that you need to wake up to go to school on time, it's not to harp on you, it's what you need to do. Then he says that he would like to live with his dad to be more free. Jen is really, this is the thing, she's really trying to get it into her son's head that in the real world, you have to work and work hard to build a life and be responsible. She doesn't want her children to end up in a situation where they are going through hard times when they're adults, like she's going through right now. Of course, she had to apologize and she lets him go live with his dad. Now, this is just my opinion. I think that's a horrible idea because from what I know, kids generally like to go live with their dad because the dads tend to be a little bit more lenient. And if he's already being irresponsible, imagine what's gonna happen when he goes with his dad. I think that he's just like a typical spoiled, rebellious teenager, but it definitely needs to be, be corrected. We then see one of Shannon and Vicky's shows. It was at a comedy club. It looks like there was a lot of people there. The rest of the ladies are having a fiesta at Jen's house. Well, Ryan's house. Which, not for nothing, is a very nice house. I really love the backyard and the fountain that he has. All the ladies go, obviously except Shannon because she's doing her show, but Alexis goes as well. I also really liked Emily's outfit. So Jen tells them about her son wanting to stay at his dad's, and then Heather says that it's normal for kids to be out late because her child is out till 3 a.m. sometimes. I'm sorry, but I'd be damned if I dare come home at that time when I was still in school. Like, it wasn't even something I would think about. Like, my parents were strict. The house is it's not a hotel, it's a house. That's crazy to me. So Heather thanks Alexis for going to the Glad event the other day, but she says that she kind of wishes that John would have gone. And then Alexis starts to break down and says that something has been happening. And everybody's like, what's happening? Like, what is it? And she starts to kind of break down and says, well, the legal battles are just so hard. Okay, Alexis, what we're not going to do is feel bad for the instigator of the legal battles, which is your man, Johnny. So, no sympathy for him in this situation. I'm sorry. I will say, though, Gina was very nice to her and tried to make her feel better, which is one of the reasons why I have actually been really liking Gina this season because of how supportive she's been to the others. So, at this point, they're kind of over Alexis, and Jen brings out a giant Jenga game where they all wrote truth or dares and things like that. And they had a lot of fun playing it. They did some crazy stuff like showing each other body parts and peeing in the yard. I don't know why Tamra always has this obsession with body parts and things like that. I don't know. So after the game, they're just talking. Heather says something about the designer that she was working with. So this was a perfect opportunity for Emily to say to Heather, I need to ask you something. She says, when you told me to bring my own jeans, I realized that I was the only one who had to bring jeans, my own. I didn't have jeans from the designer, and honestly, that killed me. I had a moment where I was crying in the dressing room because I felt singled out. And Emily starts to cry, and Heather says, "No, it wasn't like that. I would never do that." And Emily says, "I know you wouldn't do anything malicious, but I don't know." And then Heather says, "I actually gave you 3 different outfits." And Emily says, "Well, yeah, and one of them was the same dress that Alexis wore, but mine was way oversized." And Heather's trying to say that's not true. And then Emily says to Heather, "Why don't you just take a moment to realize how I'm feeling?" And then Heather says, "I am." So then Alexis jumps in and says, "Yeah, she is. She is listening to you." And I think she also kind of got a little, I guess, offended because Emily said that she didn't like wearing the same dress as Alexis. So Emily says, "You're not in this. Shut up." So then Alexis gets angry and says, "I'm not gonna shut up." Emily says, "You've been a wackadoodle all night. Stay out of it." Heather then gets up and Emily goes after her. But of course Heather's mad because y'all know anytime anyone tells anything to Heather, she gets mad and dismissive. So she didn't even want to argue. So then Emily's like, "Okay, F off then." Alexis is still going off. She says, "I'm going through so much right now. Emily's talking about my dress." Heather is going off as well, trying to diminish Emily's feelings as if it were something that's not important. So on her way out the door, Emily says to Heather, "You don't need to look at me that way." And Heather says, "Well, I'm going to look at you that way because I'm upset." And Emily says, "That's why I wanted to talk to you, and you didn't want to talk to me anymore." So then Alexis once again jumps in, and that's where Emily just loses it and says, "I'm not talking to you. You're a friend. Shut the F up." And Alexis is going off as well. But as Emily is leaving the house, she says, "Alexis, shut up. Go F John some more, you effing idiot." That was hilarious. Emily going off on Alexis and saying that to her was hilarious. But that was the end of the episode. Now, I want to tell y'all something. I want to ask y'all, what are your thoughts on Emily and Heather? Because I think it's a layered situation. I'm not saying it's Heather's fault because I don't think she did it maliciously. And again, you guys, she was hosting a charity event. The last thing on her mind was if something was going to fit Emily or not. But at the same time, because of that, I'm not going to diminish Emily's feelings because I do think those are valid. But then I also think to myself, Emily can't go around the world being triggered by every damn thing. But then again, I also think that Heather as a friend should be more open to hearing her friend's grievance. So I'm a little confused and conflicted by this. So y'all let me know what your thoughts are. And yeah, let me know in the comments. This was a great episode. You guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll catch y'all next time. Have a great one. Bye.